Pokemon Sword has so many awesome steel type Pokemon, so I decided to see if I could beat a Pokemon Sword hardcore Nuzlocke with only steel types. Will we be able to conquer our opponents, or will we melt in the process? Let's find out. I picked Sobble to be my starter to give Hop a future Cinderace. However, Sobble is not our true starter, as that goes to Rookidee, who I catch on Route 1. I then meet Sonia. Hey kid, do you know a lot about Pokemon? Yeah. It's dangerous to go alone, take this. So we then make our way to the professor's place, and Hop wants to have another freaking battle. Bruh, don't you ever get tired? No way, man. I'm going to become the best trainer. Sure, pal. Hop starts with his Wooloo. I use Hone Claws to increase my attack. Tackle doesn't do much to Mercury. Peck brings it to the yellow, and Tackle still is not very impressive. A second Peck is able to defeat Wooloo. Scorbunny is up next. I go for Peck, doing okay damage. A tackle from Scorbunny brings Mercury to the yellow. I go for another Peck, bringing Scorbunny to the yellow, and he goes for a Growl, which kind of sucks, but still works in my favor. Another Peck almost kills Scorbunny. Luckily, he goes for another Growl, allowing the next Peck to kill. He brings out his own Rookidee. Battle to see who has the superior Rookidee. I go for Hone Claws to increase my attack. He goes for a Peck, bringing me close to red. Yeah, this was pretty nerve-wracking. I go for Peck, which brings him to half of his health. He goes for a Leer. Oh, you fool. Mercury defeats his Rookidee with a Peck. Take that, Hop. I have the superior Rookidee. I then tried to get my room key, but Team Yell is in the way. So I beat two of them, and Hop joins in to assist with the last two. Marty shows up, embarrassed as all get out, and tells them to go home. Yeah, you weirdos. Get out! I then get my room key. After some training, I have another battle with Hop and beat him once again. Bruh, when are you gonna learn that you can't beat me? On Route 3, I find a Clink, I catch it and name it Gears. Mercury evolves into Corvette Squire. In the first Galar Mine, I catch a Drillbur and name him Shredder. I find Bede waiting for us, and he brags about being endorsed by the commissioner. Bruh, who the frick asked? He starts with Solosis, and I start with Drillbur. I go for Hone Claws to increase my attack and accuracy. He goes for Confusion, doing a decent amount of damage. Fairy Swipes almost kills it, but only hits 4 times. A second Confusion brings Shredder to the red. Scratch finishes it off. Gothita is next, so I switch to Gears to tank the Psybeam. Gothita proves to be stupidly bulky. After a while of the battle, Gears brings Gothita to the yellow, and I switch to Mercury, who kills Gothita with a Plug. Hatina is his last Pokemon, and with 2 plucks, it goes down. That's what you get for being cocky, you fool. On Route 4, I catch a Galarian Meowth and name her Luna. After some training, I took on Gym Leader Milo, who honestly was a joke. I started off with Mercury holding the Sharp Beak item, enhancing its flying type moves. I start off with Hone Claws, increasing my attack and accuracy. He goes for Rapid Spin, which doesn't do much damage, but it does increase the speed. I go for a second Hone Claws, and he uses Round, doing a little more than Rapid Spin, but not enough to scare me. Plug one-shots Gossifleur. Eldegoss comes out and gets obliterated by Max Airstream. I then buy the steel uniform to fully represent my steel type team. On my way to the next gym, I run into Team Yell and beat them up. Man, y'all are annoying. I'm rewarded with a bike. As I get closer to the city, Hop also blocks my way, so I beat him up once again. Bruh. Next, I head to a den in Dapple Grove to catch a Pharaoh Seed and name her Thorns. Afterwards, I take on Nessa. I run with Mercury, Gears, and Thorns. I lead with Mercury. I set up with Hone Claws, and 2 plucks defeats Goldeen, and 1 pluck defeats Aerocuda. Dreadnought is her last Pokemon. I switch to Gears to keep Mercury safe from a Dynamax attack. Gears is able to take a Max Strike. I Dynamax and use Max Guard to waste a turn for her. I try going for another Max Guard but fail, and Gears faints. Luckily, her Dynamax ends, allowing Thorns to have a good chance. I use Ingrain to help with healing. Citrus Berry also helps with health. Thorns is honestly one of the best counters because of Iron Barbs. Seed Bomb also brings Dreadnought to the red, and Dreadnought uses Razor Shell, activating Iron Barbs and faints. In Galar Mine 2, Bede continues to be arrogant and wants another battle, and I put him in his place. He then tries to cover up his loss by saying I have no talent. Bro, quit being a baby maybe and get over it. I then catch a Galarian Stunfisk and name it Bear Trap. In the Motorstoke outskirts, I catch a Poniard and name him Blade. I make my way to the hotel and find Marnie, who wants to have a battle. I gladly accept. I start off with Shredder and she starts with Croagunk. I set up Sandstorm and she uses Revenge. I switch to Bear Trap, who's able to take a Revenge. Mud Shot then kills Croagunk. Bear Trap also handles a Low Kick from Scraggy and kills it with a powered up Revenge. Marnie then mentions how Bite resembles her feelings. Marnie, are you secretly a freak? Either way, Revenge from Bear Trap kills Morpeko. Next up is Kabu. He starts with Ninetales and I start with Shredder. He goes for a Will-O-Wisp. Luckily, I predicted that he would and gave Shredder a Frost Berry, removing the burn effect. 2 Bulldozes kill his Ninetales. Arcanine comes out and lands an Intimidate and a Will-O-Wisp, causing Shredder's attack to just be gone. Shredder manages to bring Arcanine to about half health. I switch to Bear Trap, who kills Arcanine with Bulldoze. Scorch is up next, so I decide to stay in and land a Sucker Punch, hoping to get a flinch, but I don't and Bear Trap dies. Sorry, Bear Trap. Mercury comes in. I Dynamax her, and with 2 max Airstreams, Scorch is defeated, winning me the badge. In Motostoke Riverbank, I find a Bronzor in a den. I catch it and name it Bronze. In Watchtower Ruins, I find a Honedge in a den and catch it. After some training, Shredder and Luna evolve. Team Yell once again is in the way, so I beat them up. And still on side, Hop wants to have a battle. His team is a little different, but is still no match for me. After some training, Bronze evolves, and after completing the gym challenge, Lilith evolves. Bea is my next opponent, and surprisingly is easy thanks to Lilith. Lilith has a defense of 133 and Bea starts with Hitmontop, who can't touch Lilith, allowing me to use Iron Defense 3 times. 2 aerial aces put her Hitmontop out of its misery. Pangoro comes out and uses Night Slash, and oh my gosh, that did like nothing. Nani? 2 aerial aces and 2 Shadow Sneak kills it. After several aerial aces, Surfetch'd goes down. Machamp comes out, and with 3 max Airstream, Machamp is defeated, winning me the badge. I then find Bede destroying a historical piece. Bede, what the heck? Why are you this crazy for wishing stars? So I beat him up. Chairman Rose shows up and is very disappointed with Bede. He then states, "You clearly are not a worthy challenger for the gym challenge." Bea then gets removed from the gym challenge. Serves you right. Opal is my next opponent, who was also pretty easy. I start off with Luna. I use Hone Claws to increase her attack. Iron Head then one-shots her Weezing. Mawile goes down with 2 digs. Rock Slide kills Togekiss. I switch to Thorns to deal with All Creamy. I use Max Scar to waste a turn of her Dynamax, and with 2 Max Steel Spikes, All Creamy faints, winning me the badge. Mercury then evolves into Corviknight. On my way to Route 7, Hop wants to have a battle. I start off with Mercury, who one-shots his Trevenant with Drill Peck. Cinderace comes out, so I switch to Bronze, who takes a Pyro Ball and then heals thanks to Citrus Berry. He goes for Agility and I go for Extra Sensory, doing decent damage. A second Pyro Ball brings Bronze to 4 HP, and a second Extra Sensory brings him down to yellow. Bronze then faints to a third Pyro Ball. Shadow Sneak from Lilith brings Cinderace down. Heatmore comes out, so I switch to Luna, who goes to yellow. She lands 5 Fury Swipes, bringing Heatmore to yellow, and then faints to a second Fire Lash. Shredder finishes Heatmore off with Dig. Boltund also faints to Dig. Snorlax is his final Pokemon. I use Swords Dance to raise attack up. With 2 digs and a Rock Slide, Snorlax is defeated. On Route 7, I find a new Bronzong and catch it. In Giant's Cap, I find a Riolu and catch it. After some training, Thorns evolves. Goku also evolves. I take on Gordy. He starts with Barbaracle, and I started with Thorns. Goes for Shell Smash, raising its attack but lowering its defense, allowing Seed Bomb to one-shot it. Shuckle comes out and goes down to 3 Iron Heads. Stonjourner comes out. I switch to Excadrill and use Swords Dance twice, then use Max Quake, which obliterates Stonjourner. Colossal is his final Pokemon and faints to a Max Quake, winning me the badge. At Bridgefield, I activate a den and find Durant. I then catch it. I find an Escavalier in a den in the forest of Focus. Hop wants to have another battle. He starts with Double and I start with Thorns. He goes for Takedown, not doing much damage to Thorns, but doing much more damage to himself because of Recoil and Iron Barbs. I land the Thunder Wave. I then switch to Shredder, knowing that Cinderace will be next. I use Swords Dance to increase my attack. Dig finishes Double off. Cinderace comes out and misses the Pyro Ball. Thank goodness, holy crap. Dig then obliterates Cinderace. Pincurchin goes down to Dig. Snorlax is next, so I switch to Goku. I use Life Dew to recover some health. Aura Sphere brings Snorlax to the yellow, and Body Slam causes Goku to get paralyzed. I switch to Thorns to take advantage of Iron Barbs. He decides to heal his Snorlax, bruh. Just accept defeat already. Seed Bomb brings it back down to yellow. Iron Barbs and another Seed Bomb brings Snorlax down. Corviknight is his final Pokemon. He goes for Drill Peck, hurting himself with Iron Barbs. I land Thunder Wave. I then switch to Mercury. I use 2 Leers to bring its defense down. With 2 Drill Pecks, Hop is beaten. While Hop is leaving, here's a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is none other than myself. I'm currently running a merch store on Redbubble and everything's currently 40% off. So go ahead, click on this link. It'll be down in the description. You can get yourself any of these cool designs that I've made and be able to help support the channel this way. I really love and appreciate y'all. So be sure to go get yourself some awesome merch. Now, back to the video. I then evolve Lilith. Next, I battle Marnie. She starts with Leopard and I start with Bullet. And Bullet proved to be a nightmare for her and obliterates her team, which honestly I was not expecting that from Durant. But at the same time, I didn't know what to expect with Durant. It was then time to take on Piers. He starts with Scrafty and I start with Mercury. With 2 Drill Pecks, Scrafty is taken out. Bullet takes care of Malmar. Obstagoon comes out and proves to be pretty bulky. X-Scissor brings him down to low green, but unfortunately faints to Throat Chop. I bring Goku out and go for Nasty Plot, and Aura Sphere then finishes Obstagoon off. Skunk Tank is his final Pokemon. I use 2 Nasty Plots. Aura Sphere then takes Skunk Tank down, winning me the badge. After gathering 30 Diglets for this trainer on the Isle of Armor, he gives me an Alolan Sandshrew. After some training, I give it the Ice Stone, evolving it to Sandslash. Next up is Raihan. His battle is in the format of a double battle. I have Shredder use Dig on Gigalith and Ace use Ice Spears on Flygon, which kills his Flygon. Dig brings Gigalith to the red, and Ace used Rapid Spin to remove Stealth Rock, do a little damage to Sandaconda, and raises his speed. Sandaconda lands a Glare on Shredder, and Ace luckily survives a Body Press. I switched Ace with Gong, who's able to tank Fire Fang. I had Shredder use Rock Slide, hoping to kill Gigalith and do damage to Sandaconda. Duraludon comes and goes for Max Knuckles, but fails because I outsmarted him by switching Shredder out with Lilith. Earth Power does a lot to Gong. Extrasensory does a lot of damage back to Sandaconda. Shadow Sneak almost kills it. Unfortunately, Gong dies to Max Knuckle and Earth Power. A second Shadow Sneak kills Sandaconda. Goku and Duraludon trade blows with each other. Lilith ends up stealing Goku's Thunder and defeats Duraludon, winning me my final badge. I catch a Magnezone at the Loop Lagoon. I then enter the Winden tournament. My first opponent is Marnie. She starts with Leopard and I start with Mercury. She goes for a Nasty Plot and I go for a Bulk Up. She goes for another Nasty Plot and I go for Brave Bird, which one-shots a Leopard. Morpeko comes out and I switch to Shredder, predicting an electric attack. Dig obliterates Morpeko. Scrafty comes out, so I switched to Lilith, thinking she would go for a fighting type move, but instead she goes for Scary Face. Weird. 2 Sacred Swords and a Shadow Sneak kills Scrafty. Toxic Croak comes out. I switch to Knight and she goes for Swagger, which is really annoying because of confusion. So I switch to Shredder, who defeats Toxic Croak with Dig. 1 Max Steel Spike is enough to defeat her Grimmsnarl and wins me the battle. Hop is up next, and honestly, aside from Cinderace, it's still a complete joke. Like, come on. He brags about being the brother of Leon. I start with Goku, and with Nasty Plot, Aura Sphere one-shots Double and Snorlax. Pincurchin also goes down to 1 Aura Sphere as well. Corviknight goes down to a few Aura Spheres thanks to him using Full Restore. Cinderace comes out and nukes Goku with Max Flare. Rest in peace, Goku. Shredder survives a Max Knuckles and an earthquake brings Cinderace to the red. A second Max Knuckles kills Shredder. Lilith then finishes Cinderace off with a Shadow Sneak, allowing me to win the battle. In a den, I find Gigantamax Duraludon and catch it and catch a Steelix. I then battle Olina. She starts with Frostlass and I start with Cannon. Flash Cannon one-shots Frostlass, 2 Rock Slice defeats Salazzle, my loaded comes out, I switch to Thorns and try to paralyze it with Thunder Wave, but its Safeguard protects it. 2 Seed Bombs then kill it. Serena is up next, Knight is able to defeat her with X-Scissor. I switch to Iron to deal with Garbodor, but surprisingly it has a ground type move. Yikes. Luckily Iron is able to tank it and I switch to Mercury. With 2 Max Airstreams, Garbodor is defeated along with Olina. Leon agrees to help Rose after the championship match. Beach shows up and wishes to have a battle with me and we accept his challenge. He starts with Mawile and I start with Knight. I use Swords Dance allowing Drill Run to obliterate Mawile. X-Scissors defeats Gardevoir. Max Steel Spike destroys Rapidash. Hatterene also faints to a Max Steel Spike. Nessa is up next. She starts with Golisopod and I start with Magneto. Discharge one-shots it. Barraskewda uses Drill Run and kills Magneto. I bring Thorns out, who kills Barraskewda with Seed Bomb. Seaking is Thorn's next victim. Pelipper is so freaking annoying, and it takes several Seed Bombs for it to die. Dreadnought stood absolutely no chance against Max Grow being 4 times weak to grass. Bea is next. I start with Lilith and use Iron Defense to raise her defense up. 2 Aerial Aces take Hawlucha down. Surfetch also goes down to 2 Aerial Aces. 3 Aerial Aces and a Shadow Sneak beats Phalanx. An Aerial Ace and Max Airstream finishes Frappalocked off. Lilith manages to survive a Max Flare and bring Machamp down to about half with Max Airstream. Unfortunately, Lilith faints to a second Max Flare. You will be missed. Mercury comes in and defeats Machamp with Brave Bird. Raihan is my final opponent in the brackets. I start with Iron and he starts with Torkoal. I use Dig, bringing Torkoal to half. He uses Yawn. Stone Edge brings it down to like 1 HP. Come on, man. Iron then falls asleep and he uses a full restore. Bruh. Dig brings Torkoal to about half again and Iron faints to Lava Plume. Drill Run from Knight finishes it off. Turtonator goes for a Shell Trap, which honestly, I could have stalled it out or even just used Swords Dance and then Drill Run, which would have killed it. But no, instead I decided to just go for a Drill Run, bringing it to about 1/3 of its health for Shell Trap to then obliterate Knight. Yeah, that could have been played a lot better. Cannon finishes off with Rock Slide. 2 Dragon Claws take Flygon down. G-Max Depletion one-shots Goodra. Both Cannon and Duraludon trade blows with Max Knuckle twice. Body Press then beats Duraludon, winning me the match. Leon and I get ready for our match, just for Rose to interrupt it with his shenanigans. Yay. I caught a Cuffent at Bridgefield. I named her Hannah. After some training, she evolves. Hop and I head to the Slumbering Woods, where we meet Zacian and Zamazenta. We then grab the Rusted Sword and Shield. Next, Blade evolves into Bisharp. With my new team members powered up, it was time to confront Rose once and for all. He starts with Escavalier and I start with Mercury. I used Bulk Up, he goes for Iron Head. Really? It obviously didn't do much damage. Brave Bird takes him to the red and Steel Wings finishes him off. Kling Clang comes out and uses Wild Charge. So I switched to Thorns, doing barely any damage and getting hurt by Iron Barbs. This fight goes for a while, but eventually Clink Clank faints. He brings out his Ferrothorn, and yeah, this was almost on the equivalence of Ash's Metapod battle. So yeah, it took a while. But overall, mine came out victorious thanks to Paralysis. Berserker is next, and I used Thunder Wave to paralyze it. I switched to Hannah, and with 2 digs, Berserker is defeated. Predicting Max Quake, I switched to Mercury, who's unaffected by it. I used Max Guard to waste one of his Dynamax turns. 2 Max Airstream brings Copperjaw to about half. I then switched to Cannon and used Body Press, defeating Copperjaw. Eternatus is up next. The first phase is stupidly easy. 2 digs from Hannah takes it down. Phase 2 begins, Hop joins in, and we can't hit it. Bruh. We then use the Rusted Sword and Shield and summon Zacian and Zamazenta. With their aid, the fight is now proper. Unfortunately, Eternatus kills Hannah with Max Flare. The fight continues and Cannon gets the final blow on Eternatus. I then catch it, ending the darkest day. I find a clef key on the Isle of Armor and catch it. After some training, it was time to challenge Leon. Will our journey end here, or will we conquer the Galar region? Only one way to find out. Leon starts with Aegislash and I start with Blade. He goes for King's Shield and I go for Swords Dance. Blade outspeeds and lands a Night Slash, defeating Aegislash and giving us a huge advantage. Haxorus comes out, so I switch to Mercury, predicting the earthquake. Mercury is able to handle 2 outrage. I decided that lowering Haxorus's defense would give me a better chance of winning. Mercury survives a 3rd outrage and takes Haxorus down with herself with Brave Bird. Dragapult is next, and I bring out Keyblade. I go for Rain Dance, allowing Keyblade to survive the flamethrower. I get Spikes out. Sadly, a second Shadow Ball ends Keyblade. I bring Ace out. He survives a flamethrower as well and lands 4 Icicle Spears and kills Dragapult, which was crazy luck because that was the exact number we needed. Rhyperior comes out and was scary at first. I go for Iron Head, hoping to get a flinch. I get it down to low green, but Ace faints to Heat Crash. I bring Thorns out and she survives a Heat Crash. Iron Barbs brings Rhyperior to the yellow and C-Bomb finishes it off. Things were looking really good in our favor. Rillaboom is next. I tried using Thunder Wave but missed. Luckily he still got hurt from Iron Barbs. He goes for Endeavor, which did nothing. Iron Head brings him to the yellow. High Horsepower does end up killing Thorns though. Blade avenges his fallen comrade and defeats Rillaboom. Charizard comes out and finishes Blade off, leaving us with Cannon. Despite the fall of Blade, we are still in the advantage here. Leon only has 2 Dynamax turns left. Wildfire brings Cannon to the yellow, and Max Rockfall brings Charizard to the red. Leon then goes for a full restore. I go for Max Rockfall again. You know, he could have possibly won had he just attacked instead, but stupid AI gave me a huge advantage. He then goes back to normal and misses a Fire Blast, allowing Cannon to end it with a 3rd Max Rockfall, thus winning us the battle and making me the new champion. And as we can now conclude that it is very possible to be a Pokemon Sword hardcore Nuzlocke with only steel types. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave it a like. Also make sure that you're subscribed so that you get notified of all my videos and live streams. And while you're at it, you might as well go check out my Pokemon Dragon Hardcore Nuzlocke challenge and Pokemon Sword video.